Warm greetings from the High Tenn. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Friday, June 26, 2020. I want to say hello to everyone. I know I've been absentee and pardon my manners, but honey, the Queen was taking a break from all the foolishness and mayhem that has been transpiring in our country with the death and murder of George Floyd and so many other heinous crimes, protests, riots, dismantling of um, Confederate statues, which is fine with me. Hooray for that. But the Queen just needed a break. Hello, Karen. Thanks for jumping on the other day and saying hello and checking on me. I am great, and I hope you all are all well. And thanks for your concern. I really appreciate it, Miss Karen. Um, I'm going to do a two-part video because I don't want to be too winded. First time back on in a couple of weeks. But I want to bring you some information pertaining to Jussie Smollett. I just made two videos and I've had to kick them to the curb because as soon as I go over to the Google News, there's an update from the said storyline. Most of you may have heard earlier in the week the Onsadero brothers were not going to testify because they were upset with the seizing of property from their apartment last year or so ago with Chicago police in pertaining to this crime, this alleged hate crime that was a faux crime. And it was a 9mm handgun that they want it back with other said items. Now, what relation this gun has to this case, I don't know. But they wanted it back. Now I find out they're going to go ahead and continue working with investigators and testify against Mr. Smollett, which is a good thing because indeed if he did this crime, he should go down for that. Causing taxpayers all this money, detective work, you know, luckily the city didn't go into a tailspin and riot for this craziness that he exacted and had these young men conspire with him to, participate in this crime. They were foolish to go along with it, but when the dollar is right, people will do all type of crazy things for the almighty dollar. So the Onsadero brothers have changed their minds. They will proceed to testify against Mr. Smollett in this alleged hate crime and their participation in the said crime, which I'm glad for that. This next update I want to bring you is a story that came across my information desk, and it's about as heinous as it can get. I try to veer away from some of these storylines pertaining to children because, as I state, I've gotten burned out with negativity going on in our country. And with all that's going on negative with COVID-19, people still getting sick, more upticks in a lot of cities pertaining to people being sick and dying from this virus, the racism, the hate, the venom spewed on social media sites. It's like enough is enough. And that's why I haven't been on talking about anything, because I've just burnt out. But I have a story I want to reveal to you guys, and it's out of Tennessee. Henry County is about 54 minutes away from Clarksville, Tennessee. Less than 2 hours from Nashville, Tennessee, if you're familiar with that area. And if you're not, you now know. Here we go. Toddler found in cage in Henry County. 3 charged. Hundreds of animals rescued. There is said commentary in this video and footage, photographs of the property where the child was seized and the animals were seized from I'd probably just go on and say a dilapidated property, said trailer. And this is the information. My devices are acting up. Authorities have charged 3 people after a toddler was found in a dog kennel during an animal rescue in Henry County. I can't get it together today for some reason. I don't know what's going on with me. Sorry. Henry County Sheriff's deputies raided a single-wide mobile home with several outbuildings in the northern portion of the county Thursday. Henry County Sheriff Monte Ballou provided an update Friday morning, saying the 1.5-year-old boy was found in a 4x4 cage in the living room. Ballou said the child didn't have any toys or blankets. But when you look at the photograph in this said picture article, there is a child in a cage. His face is blacked out, covered barely, and there are toys inside of this cage. But anyway, Everything that child possessed or played with was in that kennel, Ballou said. Ballou said 3 buckets filled with hundreds of mice were propped up next to the cage. 3 feet to the left, there was a 10-foot boa constrictor. In total, there were 8 snakes found in the room. With all of the law enforcement experience up here, it's hard to find something that actually shocks us, he said. I've never seen this before, and I can guarantee the gentlemen up here with me have never seen this before. The sheriff said 15 to 20 dogs were found running loose along with feces on the floor. He said some portions of the home didn't have any flooring at all. Ballou described the kitchen as unlivable. You also will see a photo in this said article with a dog in a cage that looks very mangy and malnourished. He said thousands of cockroaches and maggots were also found. It's a very rural part of the county. You're not far from the state line. Dale Cemetery Road is not a very traveled road at all. Not much traffic on it whatsoever, Ballou said. They just wanted to live their life. We had to explain to them that there is a norm. The Animal Rescue Corps responded to the location to help care for and remove the animals, some of which were deceased. Ballou identified the 3 suspects as 46-year-old T.J. Brown, 42-year-old Heather Scarborough, and 82-year-old Charles Brown. All 3 have been charged with aggravated child abuse, which is a Class A felony, aggravated animal cruelty, possession of firearm and commission of a felony, manufacturing of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and cruelty to animals. You will see the mugshots of the T.J. Brown, which is a male, Heather Scarborough, which is a female, and the elderly man, which is Charles Brown, and I'm assuming this is T.J. Brown's father. T.J. Brown was also charged with felon in possession of a firearm. Each was held at the Henry County Jail on a $300,000 bond. A court appearance was set for June 30th at 9 a.m. Okay. Below said the following animals and items were recovered from the home: 86 chickens and roosters, 56 dogs, 10 rabbits, 4 parakeets, 3 cats, 8 snakes, 1 pheasant, 531 mice, rats, and hamsters, 1 gecko, 3 sugar gliders, 127 marijuana plants, and 17 guns. In our community, children are treasured. They're treasured very highly, and the slightest allegation that one might be in danger causes a larger number of people to spring into action. We're going to investigate this and every allegation of child abuse extremely closely, said District Attorney Matt Stowe. Stowe said prosecutors were working hand in hand with the Henry County Sheriff's Office. These things oftentimes can be hidden, especially when it's in a remote or rural area. But even in an urban area, the truth is we never really know what our neighbors next door are doing. It's important that this serves as a warning that if you see something out of place, that you let someone know. Excuse me. Okay. And then it has an editor's note. An earlier version of the story attributed quotes to Sheriff Ballou, which was incorrect. It was since been corrected that the statements were of District Attorney Stowe. So, this is Channel 5 News if you need verification for the storyline. So, right now, Jesus have mercy, we're speaking about a 1.5-year-old Caucasian male boy, seized from this property in a cage, found in a cage, with toys and said belongings inside this cage. So, he was caged up as an animal, and I'm assuming this Yarborough woman is his mother. Now, who this other male and elderly male are to her, I don't know if it's her boyfriend or what, but obviously they all stayed in this trailer. And it's a T.J. Brown, a Charles Brown, which is the elderly man, and Heather Scarborough, I'm assuming is the child's mother. All were living in this nasty trailer. You will see pictures in this said article of the dilapidated trailer, and the property had nothing but discarded items on the said property. So it was a hoarded situation, like you see on the TV show Hoarders. A nasty looking property, a dog looking mangy in a cage with barely, I don't even know how the dog was alive, and then a child in a cage, face blurred out. This is heinous. And as they say, if you see something, say something. My problem is this: we already know somebody knew that these people lived like this because he had marijuana plants on the property. So that means he sold drugs. So somebody then came out there to this disgusting hen house to purchase drugs, and God knows what else. And the fact that they had 86 chickens and roosters, 56 dogs, 10 rabbits, 4 parakeets, 3 cats, 8 snakes, 1 pheasant, 531 mice, rats, and hamsters, 1 gecko, 3 sugar gliders. I don't even know what sugar gliders are. Please list it below in the comment section. 127 marijuana plants and 17 guns. Who the hell was getting ready to run up in there and do what exactly? Oh, that's right. He's selling marijuana. They might want to rob him of the marijuana plants and said money. Well, let's think about that. You selling dope out your trailer. You should have had enough sense to buy you a nice triple wide and keep it clean and keep the property clean, because the said article states that there were places in the trailer that didn't even have a floor, and the kitchen was unlivable. So what the hell were you doing with the rabbits and the roosters and the chickens? Because in my right mind, I could say, well, they kept the chickens and roosters to cook. Well, what were you going to cook them on? Outside? On a grill? See, this is the foolishness that goes on in the world. And there's always somebody that knows about it, but refuses to speak up. Either out of fear, they don't care, or they are just like the perpetrators. I'm very happy that the child was found alive. I pray that the child goes to a decent home and that he does not end up in a worst case scenario that he had derived from. This is sad to me. Sad, disturbing, disgusting, despicable. That these people had no regard for this child's life, and the fact that they had a bucket of mice beside the cage that the child was in speaks volumes. Do you understand what I'm saying? 531 rats and mice in a damn bucket. And right near the cage where the child was caged inside. Alongside other nasty animals inside this filthy trailer. Please check out this article, News 5. I'm assuming this borders the state of Kentucky, because when I went and looked on the map earlier, it's not too far from the Kentucky state line. So these people lived in a rural area of Tennessee, where obviously nobody gave a damn. I wonder if the road had red clay mud like in Mississippi. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, you see, it don't take long for the queen to get back to her usual self. This is sickening and disturbing. I will bring you an update to this story, but their bond is $300,000 apiece. I pray they don't ever get out. I pray no one bonds them out. I hope they don't have any money to get out. Leave them in there until trial, and then find them guilty and give them the harshest penalty that the law can give. And my thing is, if you abuse a child, like a child in a cage, don't feed a child, don't give the child a proper place to use the restroom and sleep, I think you should get life in prison. I don't believe in this 10 to 20 years, 20 to 30. That's nonsense to me. Do them the same way they did that baby. And housing those animals up is inhumane too. I don't really care for animals, but I don't believe in mistreating an animal. And that's my take on that. And I do believe there need to be stiffer fines and penalties for people who abuse animals. And one thing I've learned about these rural places is that whenever they go to a home to seize properties or do drug raids, they go for drugs, you always see there's cruelty to animals, cruelty to children. Then there's the times you go there because you heard of cruelty to animals, and then you see naturally cruelty to children. It's like vice versa. They're all intertwined together. The selling of drugs, use of drugs, cruelty to animals, and cruelty to children. And I see that a lot here in the South with homes being raided for drugs, drug activity, and then they see cruelty to children and animals. They go hand in hand, neck to neck. Prayers for this little boy. That is my said update of Mr. Smollett, the Onsadero brothers, and this abuse case of animals and a child in Henry County, Tennessee. I will be back with more information. Thanks for joining me, and God bless all of you. Stay safe. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Bye-bye.